I got to speak with someone who is a phenomenal human being. I'm talking about Tech Sergeant Kimberly Desilus, who is stationed at Whiteman Air Force Base, Missouri, and she was the wing MRT. But what really stands out about her was that she's been on this rocket path to success since she joined the Air Force, and she recently ran into a pretty big hiccup. She had something in her family life happen that really just made her vulnerable. She made a bad decision, and it came to haunt her really bad, and it started to affect her career in some serious ways. And flash forward to today, she's still going through it, but she's in a much better place now. How does one pick themselves back up after leading the way for the entire wing to deal with the shame of making this mistake? How does one get out of that?
You make a bad decision, you have to be held accountable for it. And I think it kind of took me a little bit to accept that. We talked earlier, I don't know if it was on camera or not, about the stages of grief, and well, just about grief in general, but there's different stages of grief, and and different, there's losses, and you grieve different things. And through this whole process, I was really like grieving a lot, like my loss of identity, like the loss of potential strike, because I didn't know what was going to come, my loss of certainty, because I was very certain about like where I was headed, my reputation, just a whole bunch of different things.
Was there a particular moment where that shame like really kicked into overdrive?
Um, I would say probably putting my blues on
Oof.
and behind. Yep, I had to go eventually report to the commander, and full service dress behind the commander's desk, and walk in, do the salute. I haven't done that since basic training, and um, it was. Don't get me wrong. I think the biggest struggle was my recognizing like how poor my mental health was. Um, my whole world just kind of fell apart. All these dreams, goals, and expectations that I had for what my life was to look like was now met with a lot of ongoing challenge, rehabilitation in terms of like career and trying to come back from that, and just trying to make the best out of the cards that were dealt. But it that's not the way I looked at it, not at that time. I looked at it as like, woe is me, but I put a lot of other things first before my mental health, and I think that really affected me for a while. I also felt like I couldn't really outwardly discuss my mental health, and how much I was struggling, uh, because I'm the wing resiliency coordinator. I'm supposed to be the professional resiliency person. I know all the skills, I know the ins and the outs. And so if anybody is supposed to be resilient through hard times, it's me. And like I was pulling out onto the main highway, but there was a car coming. And I just had this like split second thought in my head, like, what if I just drive in front of it? Because I was driver's side and the car would have hit me. And so I was just like, I could just drive out in front of it. Like I had this like very real thought, and like that scared me, but I just kind of like pushed it off. And then maybe a few days later, I couldn't sleep and I had some extremely like morbid thoughts. And these are things that people don't talk about. We talk about resiliency and your ability to cope and go through things, but we don't talk about like sometimes it's really hard, to find that one thing to hold on to. We talk about like just find that one like that one little bit of thing that's like that you can use for gratitude for that day. Like even if it's just like waking up, but sometimes the truth is sometimes we don't want to wake up, and it doesn't mean we want to die, but we just don't want to face the day. And I don't think we talk about that enough. I don't think we talk about that it's okay to have those thoughts as long as you're addressing it and you don't stay in those thoughts. Everybody has adversity, right? Everybody has issues. Everybody goes through different things in their career, in their personal life, and they may stumble and fall as well. But I've definitely learned that it's about how you get up and how you move forward from that.